coronal mass ejections and gigantic star cluster formations that Hubble telescope has photographed. I want to know the secrets of the universe in my limited consciousness, my tiny time to be alive. I don't want to be filled full of Madison Avenue crud as they sell us slavery. And because I've made a 20-year study, almost 17 years, it'll be 17 years in February, on air, on Access TV and then AM and FM, and now today XM, close to 100 AM and FM stations, global shortwave, all of it. I want to infect others with my love of life and that curiosity and that creative spirit that is the creative drive of humanity. You're either creative or you're destructive. You're either into love and building and strength, or you're into destruction and death. And all of us have both sides of that in us. But it's what side do we reach for? I reach for the light. I reach for the good. I reach for the truth, no matter what comes of all of this. Now, huge developments are taking place, and I'll get into this once Celente is on with us, and then more later with Aaron. We're going to open the phones up in the second and third hour. We may have Kaiser and Tarpley popping in from Syria. He wanted to come on today. He's there reporting, but we're unable to get a hold of him, and he's also been in zones where snipers are firing on people. Very, very brave to be facing up to the CIA / Mossad / Wahhabi Saudi Arabian terror forces that are there on the ground. But Russian warships enter Syrian waters to prevent NATO attack. So we're going to be breaking that down. We're not saying Syria is good either. The point is, it's all part of a globalist plan. But the big news is there's riots all over Europe as they announce, we're taking part of your pension fund, we're raising your taxes. Well, that'll bankrupt my restaurant, my hotel, my business. Sorry, too bad. It's got to be paid to the bankers. You've got to go into slavery to them because they created the debt. And now there's another report up that I want to go to, and that's Germany's secret plan to derail British referendum on EU. That's London Telegraph, who's also reporting on the globalists admitting they're technocratic dictators. And in the report, they talk about what Lord Monckton and Nigel Farage, your British member of EU Parliament, have talked about. 75% or more of the laws are not even made by the countries. And England never voted to be part of this, but they're under it, 75+%. Well, now here's the headline. Germany's secret plan to derail British referendum on the EU. What has the British traitorous, and he is a traitor, Prime Minister said? He said, I will block the people of the UK being able, Mr. Cameron has said, I will block them being able to vote on this. I will block them from being able to vote on being totally brought into the euro and having no power, and the euro can raise their taxes whatever they want and send that money wherever they want to all the Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan bankers who literally are in every power position of every country over there and over the European Union technocratic bureaucracy. Aaron Dykes, give us your take on this in the few minutes before break and tell us the news you've got coming up on the other side.
Well, Alex, obviously I am pretty alarmed about the situation in Italy because it's an out-and-out Bilderberg steering member, somebody who's been on the list as far back as I can trace what's going on Bilderberg from my own perspective, and that's Mario Monti. And, of course, they always have these ready-to-go nicknames, Super Mario, like he's going to save everyone. And he's just openly bringing in all these technocrats. I love Gerald Celente's quote from a few days ago that a technocrat's just a bureaucrat who knows how to cook the books, Alex. And then even more alarming are the details in this Telegraph article about Merkel's plan to really bring to power this new fund, which they openly say in the article will have the power to take ailing countries into receivership and run their economies. So it's a complete...
Well, sure, that's always the cover. It's always, oh, it's a bailout for the banks, $887 billion. Then you learn it's a blank check for the banks to take over the U.S. Now the Super Congress is making all the major laws. Bills don't originate in the House from individual members, as they've done for 200-plus years. Everything is being overwritten.
Alex, Obama's not even signing his own bills now. He's using a, quote, auto pen, some kind of copied signature while he's away on business. Have you seen this?
Yes, it's incredible. And expanding on this here, and we'll come back and get into more of this, of the rioting happening in Europe. I want the listeners to think about the magnitude of this. They're talking about it being a new Euro bond to get them out of trouble. But in the agreement for the bond, the nations waive all their rights in perpetuity. And the UK, who never even entered it to begin with, can't even get a vote on it. This is a financial military takeover. All right, we'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Dykes, straight ahead. It's so exciting what's happening. I mean, it's horrifying, but it's still very, very exciting.
Do you know which 37 crucial food items are going to fly off the shelves when the next disaster hits? If you don't, you and your family may be without food and waiting in long food lines after a big disaster strikes. You would be surprised how many people don't have these food items right now. 123survivalplan.com has set up a For Patriots Only video with inside information on the 37 food items that will sell out first when the next disaster strikes. The video on 123survivalplan.com has crucial information you and your family need to prepare for any disaster, natural or man-made. And you won't have to be afraid of going hungry or being sent to a FEMA refugee camp. See the video that over 1 million other smart patriots have already seen in the last 4 months. Prepared now. Go to 123survivalplan.com and learn which 37 food items you should hoard. Easy to remember. 123survivalplan.com. Again, that's 123survivalplan.com.
HempUSA.org has moved and expanded its operations for faster worldwide shipping. Our product line has grown from 5 to nearly 100 items in less than 5 years. Our food is grown naturally, always chemical-free, not found in stores. Great for daily intake and perfect for your emergency storage shelter. Call 908-691-2608 or visit HempUSA.org and see what our powders, seeds, and oil can do for you.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a silver dollar in a book explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
There are limitless ways to go into business for yourself, but most involve substantial capital and risk. Our InfoWarsTeam.com operation is different. We promote premium quality health, energy, and skincare products using dynamic, caring personalities and state-of-the-art media technology to spread a powerful message of health, wealth, longevity, and freedom. This low-cost business opportunity is designed for full-time or part-time, so you can work as little or as much as you'd like. It is you that defines the reward level, whether you are seeking a few $100 extra per month or a 6 or even 7-figure annual income. It's up to you. Want to find out more? Shoot an email with InfoWars Team in the subject line to InfoWars Team Coordinator MZ and tell him a little bit about yourself. That's the initials MZ at InfoWarsTeam.com. That's MZ at InfoWarsTeam.com. I only promote products that I truly believe in, and these are phenomenal. Whatever you do, visit InfoWarsTeam.com.
Smokers, are you still smoking traditional cigarettes? Are you still smelling up your clothes and car interior, staining your teeth, and getting ashes everywhere? Why? When you could be smoking or vaping with e-cigarettes by LeSig. With LeSig e-cigarettes' revolutionary microelectronic technology, rechargeable battery, and unique replacement cartridges, you'll get all the satisfaction of smoking, but no smoking hazards. Choose from a wide variety of our new American-made Vaporite e-liquid flavors at LeSig.com, spelled L-E-C-I-G.com, or call 870-518-4307. That's 870-518-4307. LeSig e-cigarettes for today's modern smoker. Warning, e-cigs may contain nicotine, an addictive substance known to the state of California to cause birth defects or cancer. Please be aware of the risks associated with e-cigs prior to use. You must be 18 years or older to purchase.
Wow, where are all those people over the last 50 years that made fun of all these military officers, government agents, and others at first who came out and warned that there was a global financial takeover happening by giant financial institutions They wanted to destroy free market capitalism and bring in a crony system where the general public lives in a communal kind of Soviet model, but the globalists are offshore and exempt from it all and siphon the money off to themselves. And then again, for 16 plus years, I've told people, Bank of the World's coming. They'll bankrupt the major regions, the Euro, the North American Union, then the Asian Union, and then say, oh, this is a terrible crisis. The answer is a mega union. And we're entering the next to final phase now in the establishment of this. And once they have the global government in, they can then, in an orchestrated fashion, shut down the countries even more, cut off your resources. As they've said in their Plandopolis productions, they even show British school children. This is a post-industrial world by design to make you absolutely poor slaves that cannot resist. Then they'll say, get sterilized, give you welfare. Get government approval to have kids. All of this is coming in. This is all a public blueprint. We cover it in Endgame, Blueprint for Global Enslavement. Aaron, go back to the magnitude. I mean, they're even calling this in Time Magazine, Newsweek, Financial Times of London, a banking dictatorship, a Goldman Sachs global coup. They're now taking our exact terms we've been using for many, many years because that's what it is. We didn't just hit the center of the dartboard. We were like Robin Hood, splitting the arrow with another arrow and then splitting it again and again and again and again. Now, how did we do this? Because we aren't smart, because we care. We learned history and we know the globalist handbook. It's like if I go to a play and it's got a big, thick breakdown or program. That's why it's called a program. Oh, here's your program. You know who's coming up next. You know who's going to sing. You know who's playing who. And you're like, oh, they're about to start the third act. Oh, this is a Shakespearean event. Aaron Dykes, you got the floor.
I mean, I agree. And, you know, groups like the Bilderberg have planned the European Union for more than 50 years, and they always hinged on these embryonic plans. They knew they couldn't open the gates with a full union, so they started with the coal and other industrial, you know, common pool treaties, getting the groups together, and now they've progressed to this stage where it is openly a total banking takeover. And I agree. It's right here in the articles. They totally admit that's what it is. They're going to put these countries into receivership and completely run them. And you can see where even if socialism isn't advisable, it's become the trend in many of these small European countries. The people are used to it, and all those social benefits they've come to depend on will be just run by bankers. So they'll say no, whatever.
And again, in Europe, they're taking around 70% of people's money, even poor people. And then they bring in the foreigners to basically be the political bloc who are on total welfare in many cases to outvote the domestic groups. This is the balkanization plan. That's why they always want to get the states here in more debt with unfunded mandates. It's all about bringing us to this implosion point.
Exactly. And if you were going to have these socialist systems, it makes sense in those smaller countries where you have some accountability. Now there's no accountability whatsoever. And they're openly using these austerity measures and going to loot the pension funds. And who knows what's going to happen to the people in these countries. But obviously the countries themselves are going to be going into one form or another of bankruptcy. And the banks are openly running the whole thing. I mean, Mario Monti is a very naked example of that, Alex.
Well, also, don't forget, they've militarized everything in the last 15 years. As soon as Europe got rid of rules on investment banks getting into general banking, as soon as they got rid of it here, this is the exact thing that's been done in Argentina and other countries. This is an exact plan. It was done in Japan. They've been in a 15-year recession, really a depression. This is all about a consolidation. That's why we were able to call it. The globalists admit it was a premeditated consolidation. And now they admit, you know, Denver's got TV ads and manuals saying, don't even trust your best friend. They're probably a terrorist. What's a terrorist? They don't like the Federal Reserve. A terrorist is a real American or a real European or a real Mexican or a real Chinese, anybody, no matter where you are in the world, who recognizes that globalism is a banker corporate takeover crime syndicate run by eugenicists. It's not just corporations taking over the world and, oh, they'll be our rulers. That's bad enough. These are psycho control freaks who cared enough enough about killing the majority of us to spend decades getting control. This is their religion. World government is only the means to the end. The real party starts once they've got the real power and start shutting off the resources. Then the extermination begins. Then the giant regional wars with the few areas they haven't taken over starts. This is red level emergency. Red level emergency. The New World Order is here exactly as we told you it would be. Do you want to see the next phases come true? Do you hear me? This is a Mayday emergency situation. I'm Alex Jones with